Alright, back for another blind league match. Let's see if we can take it down. This hand looks pretty good. We've got sort of a cantrip or velocity spell. We've got Thoughtseize. We've got late game plans. So I'm pretty happy to keep a hand like this. We'll see what our opponent is doing. Misty Rainforest. That's terrifying. Because I'm going to fetch on one, and I really don't want to get stifled. Thankfully we did not get stifled. Let's see what they're doing. Okay, this looks like Grixis Control or something like that. I'm actually pretty fine beating Last Hope. I don't want my mana to be potentially messed up, so I'm going to take the Hymn to Turok so that they can't tag my hand here. Okay, that's fine. None of these three cards really matter. If they take the Strix, which is what I expect them to play, then I get to play the Grove and insulate myself from Hymn to Turok. Because it turns out just playing Grove to the board in this matchup is one of the best things that you can do. So that's what we're going to do. We already have the other half of the combo, so most of their threats are not very good. Their primary remaining threat is Gurmag Angler, which is good, but if they don't get that out quickly, then it's well, it's not going to matter. Ooh, they are missing land drops. I might just run Jace into Force of Will here to just get a nice easy 2-for-1. They're pretty behind on resources. Very behind on resources that matter. That's fine. It's really nice not having to worry about any of these little bodies that Grixis Control plays. Like, a lot of times, against Miracles and Grixis Control, you can just yeah, I'm just gonna play Jace. You can just let their Snapcasters resolve and then counter their spells out of their graveyard, which uses up more resources for them because you can just kill their Snapcasters so easily. The body doesn't matter. Interesting that they're not just jamming Liliana here. I guess they understand that it's not long for this world. And it's really good to get these counters out of the way, because Jace doesn't matter, right? This Jace is not that important. It was one way of winning the game, but what does matter is this Deluge killing something like Gurmag Angler. They take Brainstorm, that's fine. Yeah, Dak is also insane. Playing around Spell Pierce here, I'm not sure if this is necessary. Also, it's not clear to me whether this is Grixis Control or Tet. So so far it looks kind of like blue-black, but it could just as easily be Grixis. Sure. And I'm actually pretty okay just letting that thing tick up for a while, because I don't want to spend mana on dealing with it when I can steal it in a couple of turns, so... Deluge. Guess we will just get back a card and make them discard. Okay, so that confirms that it's Grixis. That's good information. Ooh, 4-color. Pseudo Mirror. Interesting. Leovold matters enough that I would counter it. Jace doesn't matter. Jace is fine. Oh yeah, Jace is fine. That's a little problematic because they could have Decay on top, and then my Dak ultimate wouldn't be nearly as good, obviously. But hey, I'm not gonna do the Kolaghan's command thing. I have Decay, so I can kill Liliana straight away. And if that doesn't work out, or if Dak doesn't work out, okay, it was a Ponder. If they don't draw a way of dealing with Dak that's uncounterable, they will lose this game. They do not shuffle. That's fine. So we will ultimate Dak, steal Leovold, steal Jace. Pardon me. Let's get another red source. Now we will brainstorm with Jace. Let's throw Strix and brainstorm, I suppose. Play a land, Inquisition our opponent. Alright. They should almost certainly be minusing their Liliana here. Interesting. Yeah, so that was... yeah, when you ultimate Dak in these control mirrors, it's just disgusting. Okay, so they're on Grixis. They're actually on 4-color. So these Pyroblasts are extra good because they counter Leovold. And we want Pulsive Mirasa, Notion Thief, Trophy. This one. I kind of like Spellbomb actually in this matchup too. We'll see if we have room. Against Hymn to Turok plus Pyroblast decks, I'm not a fan of Force. If it's just one or the other, I usually keep Forces in control mirrors. But if they're playing both Hymn to Turok and Pyroblast, I usually don't. I'm not extremely interested in Baleful Strix in this matchup either. Like, it's okay. Probably better than Deluge. So we cut. I don't like the discard spells very much. I don't like the Force of Wills very much. Deluge is not great, and I don't think Strix is great. I like Rise Fall, although it does admittedly get worse when you're cutting Strix. I like Pulse and Marasa because frequently this matchup comes down to they can only win if they like burn you out, and Pulse and Marasa insulates from that. To the Slaughter is 2-for-1s all the time. You want a bunch of cheap interaction. Hydroblast countering Kolaghan's command is big game. It can also fight Pyroblasts. Pyroblast counters a lot of their relevant cards. Trophy deals with their nonsense permanents, and I like Spellbomb because if the other way that they can win the game if they're not burning you out is recurring Leovold a bunch of times, and Spellbomb sort of cuts off that line. So let's do it like that. Let's see how this goes. Huh. this hand is super risky, right? It doesn't have a blue source, but we don't need to hit a blue source for like probably 4 turns. If we go 4 turns without hitting a blue source, then we're probably in trouble. But what are the odds of that? We have I think 15, but let me count just again real quick. We have 1, 2, 3, 10, 15 blue sources. Okay, so just a quick rundown on how you can do the math. So let's say 15 out of 53. Just a quick math lesson, I guess, for mulligans. So 15 over 53 is about 0.3, and so what you do is you take your chance of missing, which is 0.7 times 0.7 times itself for the number of draws in a row that you can miss. So here we're looking at like a 25% chance that we miss by keeping this hand, and that's assuming that everything we draw is also non-land and non-castable, and I think I'm actually okay with that. Okay. Clearly that makes this hand worse, but fine. The math gets a lot easier if you have, so for example, if you're keeping a 1-lander on the draw, then your outs become, and you just need lands, they don't need to be of a specific color, then your outs are roughly half your deck because you have cantrips and you have any land that's good. So when your outs are 50% of your deck, then you just have to, then it's just powers of 2, so you can do 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5, so it goes from, you have a 50% chance turn 1, a quarter turn 2, an eighth turn 3, and so on. I don't care about Baleful Strix. Okay, so this is about half the games. This'll happen. Tarmogoyf. Interesting. I think I kept in Fatal Push. I should probably ring Indeed now that I know that they're going to be playing Tarmogoyf. Obviously this hand is not working out the way we wanted it to. We do this main phase because we don't have a lot of choice. So we hit the 25%er where we didn't hit literal anything, which does happen, and we die because of it. But I think that we win such a huge number of games because we already had Grove, we had Pyroblast, like really nice cheap interaction and cheap spells, that I think we just did not run well in this particular game. And we're not even dead yet, right? We can draw a blue source here and still potentially be fine. Those would be cool if we weren't getting stomped on, but that's not the case. Okay. It's a little risky here to play out a deck because if they counter it, we just die. possible it's supposed to counter this brainstorm, but if I draw another if I draw another red land, then I can play Dax, steal Baleful Strix, Pyroblast to counterspell, which keeps me alive, I think. Yeah, I go to 9 here, so. Yeah, now we want red land. Unfortunately, that's not it. Okay, we don't need... probably Leovold. Unfortunate, but fine. So we take 5 here, so we're dead to Bolt. That's fine. Let's Assassin's Trophy the Goyf, I guess. And we will obviously Pyroblast the Snapcaster, or a Force of Will, or whatever. Counter target spell if blue. We're dead to Kolgan's command. Assassin's Trophy. Okay. So it's useful to point out that we're not actually dead if they don't have a removal spell here. We can block Tarmogoyf, and then we can regrow Snapcaster, cast Snapcaster, Pyroblast, Baleful Strix, and we're not completely dead. Okay, we die to that. Okay, it's good to know they're playing at least 2 Surgicals. Thing about Surgical in this matchup is it's not a card that they probably want to play, but they kind of have to. Okay, so let's actually just cut the spell bombs and play more Strix. We're less soft to Tarmogoyf this way. We're a little more soft to Leo, but I think this is probably fine. On the play, Leo's not nearly as big a deal as he is on the draw. Actually, I don't know why I kept this in. I think I would much rather have a Spell Bomb than Liliana's Triumph. I don't think this card is especially good. Didn't save, but that's fine. In your matches, you should be cutting probably Liliana's Triumph unless they're playing True Name. I would like to play first. This hand is pretty good. I think I want to lead on Trop. That's fine. We'll play a Baleful Strix on 2. Off of Badlands. So getting our Brainstorm discarded here would be pretty annoying, but most other things they can do are not so bad. Ponder's fine. I think I don't usually like casting Rise Fall, the fall mode at least, super early, because they're more likely to have a bunch of lands in their hand. So I like holding Rise Fall for a little bit longer. I don't want to play into a Pyroblast on my turn if I don't have to. So just pass. And we can keep on just making land drops. We're not in a rush here. What do we got? Leovold, okay. Let's brainstorm. We're not that interested in punishing fire in this kind of hand, so yeah, let's let that go. We don't want to kill this on his turn. It's inefficient for our mana, but we need to kill this thing, and we can't lose to Flusterstorm. Okay, let's go like, I guess like this, and I want a bunch of blue mana. And we can Spell Pierce a good chunk of spells that you could counter, or that you could cast here. Spell Pierce. And Hydroblast. That turned out okay, as long as they don't have another one. Now is the time when we would really like to use this this fall half, because they've played out a whole bunch of lands, and they probably are not holding more. Ugh. That card's really good, but we'll have to be patient. Let's cast Fall. So I imagine that they'll play something like, what I kind of see happening is them playing Kolaghan's Command, rebuying Leovold, and wow, they have Liliana's Triumph in their deck. That's interesting. I'm just going to play Baleful Strix then. I'm still expecting Leovold. I don't want to play this. I want to hold it for Kolaghan's Command. This time it's fine. We're going to brainstorm away this island, most likely. Curious as to what they could be holding. A lot of times you don't want to attack into their creature or like block if you're expecting Kolaghan's Command, because you don't want to give them a target for it. But they already have a Leovold, so it's not a big deal. They are flooding some kind of way. Okay, I think that's fine. And once they cast that, I will try to use Notion Thief here. There's the Reb. We can't do anything about that, so let's let that go. We have five ways, I guess, of getting back Notion Thief if we count Snapcaster for Rise, so that's not bad. That is a pretty disgusting draw. This card's really silly. I wonder what they could have... They didn't shuffle, so I wonder what they could have drawn there. I'm thinking... I think they would have pondered. They would have cast most of their planeswalkers. So I'm really not sure. Keep holding the brainstorm, I suppose. Assassin's Trophy. Okay. Yes. And fine. Let's draw a card. Brainstorm. Throw back a pair of lands. I guess we will Kolaghan's Command. We're burning both of our fetches here, but that's okay. We want all of our red sources to maximize. Let's see, green, green, black, blue. Okay, we want all of our red sources to maximize Punishing Fires if we ever get to that point. So, oh, they could have had a Snapcaster. They would have rebbed that. The Leo the first time around. Okay, yeah, I'll still get back Leovold. I think we're pretty ahead in the race here in a lot of senses, so pretty fine attacking. If they were going to attack, or if they were going to ponder, then I think I would have liked them pondering before they attack, so they know what's going on. Okay, so they get to take Leovold. It's like fine. Do I have any bombs in my deck? No. Let's use Rise Fall. I want that Snapcaster back. Then we'll play Leovold. Yeah, it probably doesn't feel good having Leovold recurred against you. I know it's been really annoying when it's happened to me. It's not really necessary, but it makes it a 2-turn clock, and we can Pyro Snap Pyro, or we can Decay or something. Not a lot they can do. Alright, so that's pretty indicative of how those matchups tend to go. You can grind better, even though in Game 3 we didn't even draw a Punishing Fire or a Grove. We just rode the standard control-y cards of our deck, and we got there. Let's open a couple chests for fun, because we're at the end of the league. Sweet card and some play points. Open one more. Not trying to be like Jarvis. Ooh, no Hierarch. That's probably worth something. At least it used to be. That's some crazy art. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining. Hope you enjoyed, and hope you join for the next one.